everybody, and welcome to the lounge. How's everybody doing tonight on this lovely Friday evening? I see a lot of people are on tonight. What's going on, guys? Tonight is none other, and we haven't done this before, but we are going to be discussing tarot tonight. I know it's a big topic. We have a lot of lounge guests coming on. We have a lot of surprises. I don't even want to delay the surprises because there's so much going on. We have this transformation going on, Mars and Mercury out of retrograde, and we're pulling into a launch and manifestation cycle. So don't you guys want to know about how we can look into the insights of what's going on? Of course you do. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my lovely co-host, Miss Medium, Elise Sattilaro.
Hey everybody, how are you?
What's going on, Elise?
Nothing I'm excited about tonight. Nothing but tarot.
I know.
That's my thing. And we're wearing the same color again.
We do it every time.
It matches the mug. Look at that.
The mug. So, I like that better.
Everything's good. Yeah, much better.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. So what's up?
Nothing,
up tonight?
Just trying to be a little festive, bring some joy into the world. It's been so blah and horrible and surges to acting up again. So the tree is up.
Yeah, you have your tree up. I talked about that in Monday's webcast.
Mm-hmm.
That people are going to be celebrating Christmas early and the holidays early because they're so in need and so deprived of just celebrating and joy and festivities. So it's going to be, exactly. I think, an amazing holiday for a lot of people.
Yep, and I did it all myself. So
you put that tree up yourself.
All by myself.
Oh my God, you're a woman with many talents.
I try.
Tarot and tree trimming.
There you go. Could be a new business.
I don't know what's going on with you, Elise, but I've known you for a really long time, and I don't think I've ever seen you smile so much than I have in the last 2 shows. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, it's a good. That's a good thing. So it must mean that life's going well.
I'm just your grumpy friend, right?
No, you weren't ever grumpy. You were just stoic. Like there wasn't you could be excited, but your face was just. I'm very excited for you.
I just feel like you work on yourself. It just releases that toxicity and just, getting back to my old self again. It was a rough 10 years.
It was a rough 10 years. I've known you through those 10 years and you've known me.
Yes.
Well, let's say hi to people.
Oh, yes,
my God. Look who's here. None other than Jack Rowe. This is everybody
Jack.
In the lounge. This is Jack Rowe. She's one of our other readers, but I don't know if she'll ever come on the show because she's kind of like anonymous in a lot of ways.
Incognito,
but I'm hoping that maybe she'll come on one day. Like you could put on disguise.
Can we do like they do the witness protection program with the rah rah rah? We can disguise her voice and black out her face. We can do that.
Oh my God, we can. We'll have to see what she has to say.
That'd be great.
Marianne's wondering if you look very pretty tonight, Elise. Do you have a new man?
Heck no.
The first 3 letters, maybe? That was kind of weird.
Thank you, Marianne.
See, Jack's like, that means no. That means no. That means she's not coming.
I know.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Erin Nobes is feeling fine about your Christmas tree. She's loving it. Mm-hmm.
So he's bringing joy to everybody, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah. All right.
Jack said she could wear a COVID mask.
Yeah. She's just playing us. She's just acting like she's going to come on, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I doubt it, but
she's going to have to.
We can try.
Yeah. Well, everybody, Erin Nobes here ready to roll. Happy Friday, everyone. She's got her crystal photo up right there. Loving that crystal photo. Looking forward to the live tonight. Lori Matthews is always here. Another Friday night she looks forward to it. She's one of our bracelet winners. Paula's one of our bracelet winners. Paula, I just finished your bracelet. It's going to be in the mail. And we're going to be giving one away tonight as well. And everybody's loving your tree. Elise, you are shining like a rock star tonight. Gina?
Like a diamond.
Gina. Yeah. Hi, Gina. Everybody know Gina. What's going on? All right. Well, Elise, let's get into this. All right. We're talking about tarot tonight. We've got Bill Nobes is coming on. He's a music producer, and he's also a spiritual activist. He's been reading tarot for 20 years. We have a special guest, Erin Incoherent. She is a musical artist, and she's also been doing tarot for a very long time. So we have all of these great artists in all aspects of life. We have you and I who just do this primarily. And we were doing tarot, and then we have none other than Snowboard George, who's our lounge buddy. That we're gonna have lounge buddy every week from now on. He came on last time, right? Snowboard George. He talked about his near-death experience, which was fascinating. I've known George since we skied together when we were 15. He said I did all these crazy things that I don't remember, but that's par for the course, right? Mm-hmm. So, but George, we're like, George, do you have any questions about your life? No, everything's great. Then I start getting all these Instagram messages. I need a reading. What's going on? I'm like, George, we asked you. What, you have any questions? No. So I said, you know what, George? I'm going to do one better for you. You're coming on the lounge. We're going to have 4 readers. You want some readings? You're going to get one tonight. So this is what we're going to do. So let me just show you guys. First of all, let me just talk about tarot as far as I'm concerned and the way that I teach tarot. I haven't ever looked at the guidebook for tarot. That's the one thing I haven't ever done, because there's so much you can do beyond the guidebook for tarot. And I believe that tarot should be used as not like just the end all be all. Okay, flip over a card, read the what it's supposed to be. The way that I teach tarot is more about symbology. So I allow the cards to kind of direct you to a certain imagery in the tarot. That's why I always tell people to get really intricate artwork in their tarot, because then your eye is drawn. And I teach what I call a morphing technique, which what happens is you see an image and you could see it during the one reading. And let's say you see, I don't know, a tree, right? You might see the branches of the tree, and it might look like somebody's arm in a cast, right? It might morph to something like that. Or you might see the roots of the tree, and it might look like somebody's gardening. You know, you have to let your intuition almost allow the image to kind of shape shift. And this is something that not a lot of people teach. But when I had the school for 12 years, I have taught the morphing quality of the tarot. And Elise is the one person that took that technique and kind of took it to the extreme. Like that's her technique now. This is what she uses. So when you get a reading with Elise, she flips over a card. It's going to mean something different every time she flips it over by the symbol she's drawn to. So can you tell us a little bit more about kind of how you interpret that while I fix my hair?
Sure. I think you look lovely. There's no need to fix it, but
well, no, it's like the part looks like middle part. I got to fix the part, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, Marisa is a wonderful teacher with the tarot and her intuitive classes. I'm a very analytical person, and I almost stopped, right, Marisa, because I couldn't read you for the final exam at the school.
There was a final exam, yes.
Yes, where you have to read Marisa. You go through all the classes, the different skills, psychometry, picture reading, whatever the skills that we were, honing in on. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't do it. And she's like, get another deck of cards. Yeah, I couldn't read you. And you're like, nope, I'm not going to let you quit. So I had to go out, and I think I bought like 3 different decks of cards, and I had to sit there and hold them and see which one I connected with. So this has been about 13 years, 12 years.
You've had that same deck for 13 years?
Yeah. I've never changed them.
See, now I'm remembering that story, but I totally forgot about that story until you said something. Now, we used to have... Now, okay, I know I'm a lot of fun, and it's all fun and games. But when it came to the school, we did not certify any readers or any talent, because people would go out and read at our events. And until they went through a very excruciating reading process, and we'd have a lot of our clients come in and do evaluations. Once we had our team of top readers, they would do the evaluations. And I didn't remember that, Elise, you weren't doing well. It's hard for me to like fathom that you weren't doing well.
Like I said, my brain was taking over. I wasn't allowing my intuition to have the cards work for me, right, instead of me trying to work with the cards. So the morphing is basically what happens when I read cards. So you might see a little boy let's just say you see the guy holding all the pentacles. I see something totally different than you see, like the things that are falling out of his little basket or whatever it is.
Hold it up so you can see it more. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have a glare. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So I don't know if everybody can see that. So everybody's like, okay, I see columns, I see fire. Like for me, this is something where I can't, because I'm not reading somebody, but it'll say somebody is looking for a new way to, renovate their house. I'm looking at the chandelier and I'm thinking, well, now their electricity is like on the blink, so like just things start happening, but I might get like a name out of it, like Ed, who might be somebody's uncle that's passed or somebody that is living. So for me, the cards never have a straight line. There's always things popping up. And this is where my channel happens. If there are messages from the other side, this is when it happens normally.
Yeah, because your cards are really like just a focal tool. It's not like you're reading the cards. So show us a little bit about your deck and what deck you're using.
Okay. I'm not sure of which deck this is because it's been so long, but I mean, in fact, I think Snowboard George has the same ones that I do.
Yeah,
so
no, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I honestly don't remember the name of the deck or who the artist was for the deck. I should have looked it up, but yeah. So they're very, very. They look like regular drawings, but they're very detailed. But like once you start looking at them and things start popping up, they become 3D for me, which is like odd. Like I can't explain that. Like it's just one of those things. Let me see. Let's get it going. Oh, here, this card. So like this card, it's the 5 cups, which is like opportunities, celebrations,
Show that card, Elise. Show that card.
I'm showing the money tree.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Black gov.
And you see, there's so many symbols like to use that card. Like I'm drawn, like right now I'm drawn to the basket that lady's carrying. Mm-hmm. So like if I were reading it at that point, if for Elise, I'd be like, I think you need a new purse. Like that's where it would come from. You know what I mean?
But for me, this is like, one reading would be, there's nothing in her nest egg for retirement.
Right.
So, and, the lambs in the back might mean something else. Like but for every person, it's a totally different reading because things morph into different things for different people because they get different messages. So,
well,
but that's my deck so far. So
now let's bring on Snowboard George. Hi, Snowboard.
Hello, how are
buddy.
you guys?
Hey.
What's going on?
Just relaxing. That's it.
Just relaxing.
Taking it all in. I'm learning some stuff. I like it.
All right. Well, Snowboard George, you were just supposed to come on and be the reader, and we're doing sound check. And what did you bring on the show?
My deck.
The same cards. You see that?
The same cards.
Look at this.
I can't believe.
Can't make this up, kids.
You can't at all. At all. I fear I have now close by.
So, Snowboard George, you were just supposed to come on and be read. I wonder if you're supposed to be reading people tonight.
I don't know.
But now you know what tarot cards they are because you have the box. So now you could tell Elise what her tarot cards are.
Could you please?
Oh, yes, they are. See that. Gilded Tarot.
Oh, I remember that box now. It's been
by
so long.
Zero. I'm reading it backwards here. Marchetti.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, I remember the box now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just know they work.
That's all matters.
Yeah, so George, we're going to read you tonight. And this is the first time I'm picking up a deck of tarot in a long, long time. I don't read them anymore. I actually went from tarot to regular playing cards because I feel like they allow me to get actually more information because there's less imagery. So once you start getting past the tarot, it's like, no, I don't use anything. But I was given by a good friend of mine, Gina Randazzo. Actually, she's on the stream tonight. For my birthday one year, she gave me these Philly tarot cards, the Philly deck, created by James Boyle. We're trying to get him on the show. I hope we get him on the show at some point. But he just started out with one card and just as a piece of artwork. And they got so popular that he created this beautiful deck. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Apparently, he doesn't believe in anything spiritual, but he made this beautiful deck. So I'm going to be trying these out for the first time tonight with Snowboard George. Very cool. We will see how this Philly deck comes in handy. Now, George, before we bring our expert and our musician on, because we have so much going on tonight, you have a lot of problems you need us to look into, don't you?
My whole life is a problem.
All right. Well, what is your main concern tonight? So a lot of people could start thinking about that before we get into it. If you could take your question down to, and we're going to all show you how we're reading the cards on this also. We're going to go into detail with you guys out there to show you how we're doing it. All right. So, George, if you had just a question, if you could just make it into like one sentence, I kind of know who it's about, but how do you want to phrase that?
My kid's mom.
You just want to know what the energies are around it, or you have a specific question?
Is she coming back? What's going on?
Okay.
I guess, how her energy is in general. Like why she's doing the things she's doing.
Okay. So you just want to know what we could pick up as far as like how she feels, what she's thinking, the energy line between the two of you, where you're supposed to be, what will happen if you move forward with her. Because Elise and I don't believe, and I don't know about the other tarot card readers that are coming on tonight, we don't believe there's a destination, the way I teach anyway. We tell you what's coming up if you go one direction and what's coming up if you go the other direction, and it's up for you to choose.
Exactly.
So you have a lot of free will in this. Okay, so when we look into your energy line tonight, it is the energy as it stands. If you shift that energy, things will change. All right, so you think about that, George. Now that we got your question, you died a couple times, you came back, and you're still worried about love in this lifetime, and that's how it all works.
Love, money, family. That's it.
That's it.
Finance or romance? That's always the question.
That is.
All right, George, we'll be right back with you.
All right.
All right. Bring on our special guest tonight, Bill Nobes. How you
Hi,
doing,
Bill.
Bill?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Good. I want to
you.
introduce Bill a little bit here.
Okay.
Sorry, Bill, I cut you off there. You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Just gonna
All
say
right.
thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm
Awesome. I'm
very
so
happy
glad.
to be here.
We're so glad to have you. All right. Well, spiritual activist and recording artist, Bill Nobes. Bill has been exploring spiritual realms and working to follow the paths revealed since he first heard the voice of the trees as a teen. I love the voice of the trees. I know exactly what you're talking about. He has long held the belief that the secret of personal growth is to help others uplift themselves. Today he helms a recording studio, which I hear from Find It Fix It. You got a lot of cool equipment. And a creation space that is dedicated to allowing artists to develop their art as well as themselves. And this is all about transformation. The lounge is all about transformation, and you are all about transformation. His life journey has led him to be a member of the Rainbow family. And you know what? I lost the rest of it cut off. Why don't you tell us your life journey led you to be a member of the Rainbow family? Then I have a comma, and then I lost the rest of the text there.
Rainbow family, to be a chicken farmer for 11 years, to work in drag professionally for 3 years, to work in theater. And now I, run this recording studio where it's kind of non-commercial, where I do community-oriented projects, large and small, just to try and, as I say, uplift others and, make the world better in any way I can.
Awesome. Great. And you actually know our recording artist that's coming on tonight.
Indeed, I do. Do
you want to tell us a little bit about her?
Well, Erin, I met about 2 years ago, December 9th, as part of my Analog Trenton project. And I knew once we worked together that we were meant to work together more. In fact, during our recording session, I got this like electric jolt, and I just looked up and said, we're going to do something profound. Little did I know that a year later, she'd be moving in and staying for 8 months while we worked on her album. And the album took a year, and it's coming out in just 10 days, 10 days from now on the full moon.
Awesome. We can't wait to hear that. We can't wait to bring her on. I'm just going to read a little bit about Erin. Erin Incoherent was handed a guitar by her uncle at age 11 and has never stopped playing. She is an accomplished musician, poet, and activist who brings passion, energy, and authenticity to all of her work. Her career has taken her from coast to coast, touring with such bands as MDC Acoustic and The Vibrators. Wow. Deja Vu is Erin's fourth album, and originally tracking was complete over the course of a few months, but she decided it wasn't good enough. And then I guess, Bill, you kind of took her over the level.
Well, yeah, we recorded it here first, tracked it, did the whole thing, listened back to it, and said that's not good enough. We want to make it better. And then we threw everything out and we started over. And then COVID happened, and we wanted to make it even better, so we rebuilt the entire studio from floor to ceiling. The whole thing was renovated during COVID. So it was a very busy time for us. Sanding floors and painting and moving stuff, and it was a little insane.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to bring her on and introduce her, and she is also a tarot reader as well. So George is going to get not one, but 4 tarot readers tonight. Hi, Erin.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Erin.
And where are you coming to us from? Colorado? Oh my God, you have the same deck?
I freaked out as soon as I saw yours. Like,
That's so fun.
Oh my God, twinsies on both sides. This is the first time I'm reading this deck tonight. Is the first time.
I love this deck. Funny. To me, it's like the tough deck. It's like gritty, and you know, whenever that deck talks to me, I know that I'm about to have like this, like, I don't know, stand strong, root yourself, find your will to keep fighting kind of talk from the gods.
Oh my God! So do you know the creator of this deck as well?
No. Well, I've met.
Boyle?
No, I don't know James Boyle, but I have met Gina, who Bill has worked with, and I had no idea that she had like collaborated with James to help make the deck. It's just such a small world.
Yeah, and she corrected me on the feed that I thought that James was like a total skeptic from what I thought, but she's saying no, he's not non-spiritual. He's just more into the art. So
cool.
Have to correct that a little bit as well. So what we're going to do is, Erin, I want to talk to you about tarot. I want to get into it, but I know as a performer, it's probably better for you to do your music and then kind of get into our tarot in a little bit. So we'd love to hear you perform. I know Bill says so many great things about you.
Yes.
And we're going to take a little music break, listen to Erin. And is there anything you want to say about this song, Erin, about Deja Vu, before I bring you actually on to perform?
So Deja Vu is the title track of my 4th album, and it speaks to, I think that when you have deja vu, it's the universe telling you that you are where you're meant to be on your path, and that is the culmination of your choices. So you've either learned from your mistakes to help discover a new path that you can take, or you have started the lesson over again because you've done the same things, you know? So that's what I interpret deja vu as. And I started writing deja vu in like 2018 when I moved to Philadelphia, and it's autobiographical, as most of my work tends to be. So it just kind of documents, like, here I am again. I found when I moved to Philadelphia, I attracted many of the same things right off the bat. So that was kind of my first experience of like this deja vu, you know, this same friend group, same kind of self-confidence issues that I'm experiencing on the other side of the country. So it kind of was the illuminating light of what I needed to work on. And that's kind of what the album whole speaks to, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know you said you wanted to take off your headphones.
Yeah. But I can't hear it.
That's okay. We'll start whenever you're ready.
All right, cool. I was crying when I saw you, Bill. It's been a crazy year. I still can't believe it was real.
Same here.
Is the guitar coming through okay? Resurrect all that is left. You'll have to start again. These changes won't save, but it's better that way. 'Cause you're trying to grow. So hard to grow. Oh, to trust in your heart when it's time to let go. I never wanted all of this. Neglected from past songs. And now I don't care where you because I'd rather be alone. He didn't stop for long when the engine sat still. A man will die soon after he neglects his force to will. The devil's dues may be his way, but it's time you'll have to kill. Time doesn't wait, never forgets, and it doesn't care. Doesn't care. I fell out. I've been drinking once, no, I should have headed south. What was I thinking? Well, once, no, I cut them all out. Serves him right, it was a long time coming. I'm reminding myself. Practice what you preach, 'cause this is how the bachelor forms. Now they unsheath bam, push you in their court. Gladiator, take your mark, and I'll kill the sport. They'll turn into a monster, and they only watch because they're bored. Cross my heart, my soul is safe in the report. Leona the Poconos tickles magnolia trees where the woodchucks are raising their daughters. Perfume of change on the leaves as the rivers all freeze and the fallen all seek shelter from hunters. The quick will survive while the meek will provide a winter of food and some warmth for your hide. This cannot be strange to you. No, this cannot be strange to you. Have you forgotten how this ends? Your anger is your tool. Learn the lesson once again. You're having deja vu.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
having me.
That was awesome.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
awesome.
Ah,
Everybody's saying such a
thank
good
you.
job.
That releases in 10 days.
Oh,
10
wow.
days.
On the full
Awesome.
moon.
And where could people get your album?
Currently, you can pre-order it on House of Robot, or is it dirtyoldrobotstill.com?
It's store.erinincoherent.com.
Store.erinincoherent.com. You can.
Store.Erin. I'm going to write this down.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
In
And we have discount bundles before, for the next 10 days.
Yeah.
Is this right, Bill? Is this right?
That is correct.
So that's
Alright,
where you can get it pre-ordered for right now. You can stream it in 10 days on any website that you find music on, and you can keep up with me and House of Robot, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Are you on Twitter, Bill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was so amazing. And if we have a little bit of time later, if you want to do something else, feel free. But I just loved that song.
Thank you.
It was so amazing. And so everybody, you guys can pre-order the album right here, store at erinincoherent.com, and follow Erin Incoherent. I mean, basically all of your social media accounts are basically Erin Incoherent. Like,
Yep.
That's all you need to do is
Yep.
go search her. You're going to find it everywhere.
Yep. The one and only.
Well, thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you very
Everybody
much.
seems to love it. We have Beth, Gina Randazzo's here.
Gina, hi.
Gina.
She's saying hello. Roseanne.
Gina's making an album at House of Robot next.
Yes, we just announced it a couple weeks ago. Gina will be we're starting production on her album in January.
Yes, and she was on the lounge a couple weeks ago. She did amazing job. So we're looking at Gina's one of my best friends. We've known each other for 15 years, and I can't wait to hear her album as well. She's the one who gave me the cards. She's the one who gifted me the cards on my birthday.
That's so
Gina.
funny.
Yeah. So it's just interesting.
Too, so I didn't bring it down, but yeah, Gina gifted me a set as well. So we all have
Philly deck.
Yeah.
Oh, Philly deck.
It's awesome. Awesome. Well, that was awesome. We're just kind of like all in the zone of like your music, and now it's kind of hard to like break out of that musical thing. That's what happens here in the lounge. So let's get back to our lovely, I'm trying to put everybody together here. Let's see. Hold on one second. Oh, wait, I did this wrong. Give me a second here, guys. There we go. Awesome. Well, I am going to go to Bill first because we need to give him a little interview, and then I'm going to bring some of you guys back on. And in the meantime, Elise and Erin, if you want to pull some cards on George, and when we come back, we could see what we all get. That way we could compare notes. So I will be back with you, Elise, and Erin, and I want to give a little shout out to Bill here. Be right back.
Where'd they all go?
They're just down at the bottom of the screen. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. Well, thank you so much for being our expert tonight.
Don't throw that word around too heavily, please.
You're just no. I just feel like you do so much for so many people, and
thank you.
You're helping people not only create their art, but you're also helping them transform internally, which I think is what we're all trying to do here with the lounge and all these webcasts and everything. So tell us a little bit for our viewers and the people that are here tonight, what are some elements of transformation that you feel are really important during this time where we could all kind of reflect and go to that next level in consciousness? What are your beliefs about this era of time that we're in?
My beliefs about the era of time, where I'd say more transformation in general, is that it's very much an internal process. It very much requires a lot of self-awareness and self-work. And, they say one thing about Buddhist teaching that I do love. I've studied a lot of Buddhism, Hinduism, and different areas, that once you start real self-awareness and looking at yourself, you discover what an a-hole you are. And in the first couple months, and that certainly was true for me. It's like you start looking at your own judgments and looking at your own thought process, and you're like, I really think that? Oh my God. But that's part of the journey, and that's part of the steps you have to take every day. And transformation is also a daily practice, just like lifting weights or eating healthy. It's something you have to engage in every single day and work on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think on the lounge, we're focusing on how do we break toxic patterns? When you kind of are in relationships and you keep picking the same person over and over again, or you keep getting involved in the same career issue over and over again, or you keep just having the same self-defeating or self-sabotaging cycles over and over again. How do we break those? In your opinion?
For me, only speaking for me, it's been the self-awareness to examine why I make those choices, because I've certainly gotten caught in toxic cycles. And, it's like layers of an onion. You peel off one layer of discovery, then you have the next layer under that. And it can be small things and it can be large things when you look at yourself. And the cards are very helpful for that. I frequently get spanked by the cards when I'll want to go in a direction of like, no, idiot, stop. I get that a lot. That's a good for self-awareness. And also on like smaller practices too can really help you be self-aware. Like one I'm working on now is I get really frustrated if I come downstairs and I forgot something. I have to go back upstairs. I'm like, Argh. So now I see it as an opportunity to walk upstairs mindfully with every step and just enjoying every step. And that reduces my anxiety and such. But as far as, the bigger pieces, the smaller pieces help deal with the bigger pieces for me, and a daily practice of, mindfulness and self-awareness. And as far as the bigger pieces for me, it's about looking at myself and why I make these decisions. And like, this has been a huge year of transformation for me. I realized that at one point I had a lot of unaddressed trauma from an abusive relationship a number of years ago. And I've been making decisions based on that trauma. And then I started addressing that. And then I discovered that mountain of trauma was actually a hill. And behind it was another mountain. And you have to keep just climbing. There was a whole, childhood thing going on that I repressed memories and disassociated memories. And it's just a process of every day picking up the sword and the shield and taking a step forward, even though some days they get oppressively heavy.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's kind of like you've been through the dark night of the soul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Several times. I mean, growth is, an ongoing process.
And I think for those of us with toxic cycles, and I struggle with that as well, as far as trauma in the past, relationships and otherwise, I think for a lot of people, they can actually intellectually understand what happened to them, right? They could say, oh yeah, this happened when I was 5, or my parents divorced, or I was abandoned, or whatever it was. But what people don't understand is that our biochemistry becomes hardwired to actually, when we see a person, there's like, oh, there's such an instant connection. I have to be with this person. For people with trauma, that's a red flag. That's like an alarm that should be telling you that your hardwiring, your circuitry is all kind of messed up. And so it's going to alert you when something's familiar, which sometimes isn't the right thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. And I've certainly have, as a result of the childhood trauma, I've made consistent decisions that were bad. And, it's only recently that I've been able to be self-aware of those and those patterns. And just anxiety and, working on self-compassion, working on self-esteem, and understanding the difference between self-esteem and self-compassion, for example. A lot of people, certainly I did, confuse the two and think you're trying to make yourself feel better with self-esteem when you really need self-compassion. And just things like that have been very illuminating. And, I've kind of been on this journey since, I don't know, childhood, when you just start seeing different things in the universe, and the universe starts treating you a certain way or telling you certain things, good things, and you just take a step, and then there's the next step after that, and the next step after that. And, I consider myself very, very privileged to continue on this journey and to keep being shown different paths. Sometimes they're very hard paths, but to keep walking those is just joyous at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I really commend you, because a lot of people do stop doing that harder work once they start hitting those pain points. It's like, whoa, I don't want to go there. So they turn around and they distract themselves. And it's kind of like you're talking now about being present and connected to the universe, connected to other people. And you could only get there by walking through those dark woods, because if you've had trauma, you cannot be present in a lot of ways. It's constant distraction or running, sometimes literally, from things.
Well, I went through some very intense experiences this summer, and I was told 8 months beforehand by the cards that a war was coming, an internal war. Not that it made me any more ready for it, but man, it was kind of funny. I'm working through this trauma. One day, I found myself in the barn on the floor sobbing, and the next day, I picked up a book by Thich Nhat Hanh on overcoming childhood trauma, and he actually said in the book, "This will happen to you." He also said it will only happen once. So I'm glad of that, because that was a very difficult day as these memories come back and you deal with them.
Yeah, and most people, Bill, like I said, commending you, don't ever deal with this in a lifetime. They just keep playing these patterns out until they die. And this is why I started going into the transformational work lately, is because I'm reading clients, over the past 20 years, and I realized I was predicting their patterns, which not so much. Yeah, I could predict what happened to them a year from now, but they were cycling in certain patterns that just made them kind of go to that next toxic situation. So they were coming to me saying, hey, predict this. But what I was seeing was their future depending on the path that they were currently on, which was a cycle. So then I had to figure out, how do we break this cycle for the clients? Because no matter, they could say to me, Marisa, I know this is bad. I know I'm going into this. I know there's kind of a minefield down there, and I know I'm walking toward it, and I know it's going to blow up, but I'm going to do it anyway because I just have to, and they're like, I just can't not do this. So I also recognize that sometimes trauma sits in the body and you can't really put, words to it. Like, it can't be coming from intellectual understanding because your body reacts. So you could be sitting there thinking, I'm fine, I'm okay, but your body is in adrenaline, and you don't know why. So sometimes it's stuck in your cellular memory, which is even harder to release that as well.
That's very true. I mean, used to have it, I still do sometimes, but I used to have a thing where after a big event, a big live event, I do a lot of, installations and remote events, live events, where I'd have to take a day off after because I knew there would be a huge depression coming the day after. And lately I've been able to understand that. So the severity of those has really decreased by understanding how those are connected to the earlier traumas. And that with that understanding becomes tools that I can use to better manage that and not have the cycle repeat.
So why did you come to an understanding of why you had that reaction after your live events? Was there an event that it was connected to, or did you figure out what that connection was?
It has to do with shame. In a lot of cases of CPTSD from childhood, it's very shame-based. And by recognizing that and recognizing where it's coming from, I can not attach to it so strongly and not take it personally, to kind of, look at it and say, hey, old friend, you're here again, but I'm not going to give you agency today. I recognize where you came from and you've been with me all my life, but I don't have to give away my power to you today. Wow,
that's so impressive. It's really very rare that I get to talk to people that have been down this road and have processed trauma. It's fair, and not a lot of people even know they have it.
It's a work in progress, and I have been meditating, aggressively for the last 10 years and on and off for the 20 years, previous. And that's another thing. Meditation is a wonderful, wonderful tool, but you do have to be willing to give it time, because I tried Vipassana, hated it. Tried Zazen, hated it. Oh my God, those 20 minutes felt like 2 hours. Now I've been practicing TM. Both Erin and I took TM classes earlier in the year, and now that 20 minutes goes by like 5. The bell rings before I even know I'm really in it. So for me, TM has been very positive, but for finding your own tools and your own techniques that work can take time, and you have to be patient and forgive yourself if you feel like you're failing at it, because everyone feels like they're failing at meditation at first. And that, that's just part of the process.
Wow, Bill. Well, thank you so much for giving us like where you're coming from. You're coming from such a high vibration, and you've been through so much. And I think this is it's like almost like the universe has this all put together, because George is one of those people that I've known forever. And I've been having the same conversations with him 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that I am now. He's repeating a lot of these cycles. And I'm sure a lot of the people in the chat room can relate to George as well. So George, you're going to be having so many people that have been through what you've been through. And we're hoping we can help him today, because I feel like George understands what he's doing and where he is. And he understands intellectually why something might be toxic for him. But it's so hard for him to make changes to this pattern. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say, Bill, about this. I can't wait to hear what Elise has to say, and Erin. And we're going to be as compassionate as we can, but we're also going to tell George the truth, and hopefully other people can kind of, relate to this too. So are you ready, Bill?
I've never done a remote reading before. I've done a lot of email readings, but let's do it.
All right. Oh, wait, I want to give you some comments. Stephanie says, true, I started meditating regularly last week, only been doing it about 2 something minutes a day. I'd like to do it for longer periods of time at some point. So this is great. People are starting.
2 is a victory. 2 is a victory.
Yeah.
Don't be down on yourself for that, because meditation, when you first start, can be difficult, but it does get easier.
And Nober says, very true. This year has been an eye-opener for me on my past. I've been learning that it feels like a snake shedding its skin. Definitely trying to let go of toxic things that have been holding me down most of my life. That's what I feel COVID is for us to shed as a world and shed internally at the same time. So really cool. Anna Marie says, thank you, Bill, for your honesty and inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, let's bring George on. Hi, George.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, Bill.
Hey, George.
Good. Sorry, we were talking about you behind your back. Not really, but you were down the screen, but whatever.
It's all good.
Lots of love for George. Let's bring Elise on and Erin. Hi, guys.
Hey.
You guys are back. So I'm going to bring George to the forefront here. Oh, wait. How am I going to do this?
Yeah, let us surround him.
Let us surround George. Yeah. Wait. All right. But what I'm going to do is when one person is reading, I might take you guys off the screen periodically and let the 2 people kind of talk. We'll see what happens. But if I bring you off, I'm going to bring you back on. So let's move everybody around here. All right. So George, your question was, what's going on with the girl, the mother of your daughter? You guys are never married, right?
Correct. Never married.
Okay. So I am going to, if everybody could just mute themselves, and when you're ready to speak, you can just unmute yourself. So just reduce background noise. And Elise, why don't you start and see what you pick up?
Hey, George.
Hey, how are you?
Good. The cards I picked are almost identical to the last time I read you on air.
That's good.
I don't like her intentions, if there are any. I feel like she can lead you by a chain if she can. She knows what to push, what to, reel you in. She's this card here, the strength card. It's mostly not for you, it's for her because she knows how to wheel and deal. So, I feel like she's in a holding pattern right now, as far as how she's feeling about everything, you, the kids, and I don't feel her intentions are true, like in a positive way towards you. And I think the last time I read you, I felt like she was going to come back, but it was about money more so than reconciling. And I think you kind of like said, yeah, that's possible that it could be. You're a good guy, and I feel like you're going to offer her an olive branch, for the sake of the kids. But she's not going to want that. You need to protect yourself. And this is where protect yourself from money. The King of Pentacles. So you really get the emotions out of your head, your heart, because she doesn't have that going on in her veins. And it's very funny. Yeah, because, and here we go. We were talking about morphing and things coming in through the cards. And I'm showing an X-ray vision of her arm. Which
where do you see that, Elise?
Okay,
show us.
Okay, so you see I'm trying to get it in. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see, wrong way. So you see the arm, and she has a sleeve on. For me, I'm seeing an issue in bone. So, or
I
maybe
see that.
Do you see that? I've never seen that before, ever. I've had these cards for over 12 years.
Isn't it weird that I mentioned the tree and then I said the arm in a cast was coming up? So weird.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is for you or if this is for her, but there's an issue with the arm. I don't know if it's broken, if there's osteoporosis. I don't know if it runs in her family, but like I said, that's the first time ever I've seen it. So that's how the cards morph, guys. But you need to protect yourself when it comes to money with her. Listen to what you can hear her, but just don't let her get into you, because she has a way of pushing those buttons with you, even though it's time. Yeah. And and the next card is the Hanging Man. It doesn't mean you're going to be in limbo, because it's going to confuse you, because you have emotions and you're a good guy and it's all about the kids. But she's not going to care about it. I just feel like she doesn't have the right intentions. If she does come around,
me or the kids or both.
No, with you. It's a combination, but more so with you. For some reason. Yeah, I don't think anything against the kids. It's been directly towards you. And then again, you got the King of Pentacles, but I feel like there's going to be some kind of legal interaction going on.
There is. We were at lawyers today.
Were you? Okay, yeah. So because I don't like the color of that pentacle behind the king here. It should be green, and there's no green hardly in it at all. So I don't know if it's. One sec. You I would say make sure you get all your information, all your ducks in the row with this, because she's going to be walking out if you don't. And if you can see, she's holding the pentacle and it's green.
Okay.
Okay. So I see a legal battle coming on with money involved.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Yeah, I picked a card too, George, from this deck, which is very interesting. I'm just going to put myself over here for a minute. So as you could see, I don't know. It doesn't take a psychic or medium to show what that card could mean. It looks like a battlefield here. All right. And I see 4. So that means 4 family members. I don't want to call her your wife, but it almost seems like you've been with her long enough for that to happen. You and her and 2 kids. Okay. So I'm seeing that. I hate to say this, but it almost feels like the kids are kind of the symbol of what's being fought over, but it's really not about that. So she could be giving you, like saying, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing this with the kids? Or what are you doing? Causing problems connected to practical issues with the kids. but it's really about you.
Yeah, that's
like
basically
Elise
what
said.
it is. That's even like the legal stuff is. It's like my son won't even talk to his mom at all.
Yeah.
And I get blamed for him not talking, and the same with my daughter. But it's actions and or things that are happening when they're with her that pushed them away from her. And now I had to go get them a lawyer. I had to go get pay for like the guardian ad litem and stuff like that for them, and do stuff the right way this time.
It feels to me like somebody just being like, oh, here's the thing that's going to blow up, and watching back and eating popcorn. That I just feel like she knows what she's doing. She knows how to play you. She knows what to say, what to do, and you react mostly every single time.
Yep.
You play into it.
Although I haven't been lately at all. No.
That's good. But she's going to try even harder now.
Exactly. Therefore, I mute the phone, put it down, everything. I've been trying to break that cycle, and if I don't get my depression leading into draining and exertion and going back to where I was, trying to break that cycle. That's exactly what I used to do, is that cycle like Bill was talking about.
Yeah.
That toxic cycle.
For some reason, I don't feel you're free of it yet, George.
No, I'm not. I'm still working on it.
Yeah, we don't want you to work on it. We just want you to rip the Band-Aid off, because
that hurts.
I know it hurts, but it's been hurting for a long time. So, and I'm also getting the name Josephine, Jojo, Joseph. I don't know who that is. This could be somebody living or past. Okay, it doesn't have to be a past person, but it's connected to her. It's connected around her, Joseph. Okay, so you don't have to figure it out right now, but I'm getting that name. Also, I keep picking up a chemical imbalance as well. This is like a personality disorder or a chemical imbalance. This doesn't seem like you're dealing with a situation where sometimes she's thinking even right. Like she's not thinking right about things. So there's something more than just a rational person giving you a load of crap. There's something way beyond that. And I'm feeling, because I keep seeing brain circuitry. So there might be something chemically going on, which is causing some of the behavioral issues as well. I don't think you're dealing with, like, no pun intended, like a full deck. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say that, just because somebody else said that the other day. And if you read something like the text, even like one that I tried regarding one of the children's, well-being, and the response I got, I mean, I really don't want to share it with the world, but I'll send it to you, this thing. It was just like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, it was just, yeah.
I know. But you know what? Tonight it's about you. And I know, like, every time we talk, I don't mean to be like, hey, George, what's going on?
No,
but
give it to me. Yell at me. Go punch me. Go ahead.
You've spent so much of your time talking about her, and it's been like this 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I remember. And that's all you talk about. And it's time to, like, live your life and have some joy. So I'm going to bring on Bill and Erin, because I want to hear what they have to say, okay?
Okay.
Hi, Bill.
Hello. Yeah. So, George, what I'm seeing in this is a history of conflict, a history of anger issues, and that now you're trying to be in control of your life and your family, but you're doing it alone, and that she is not cooperating. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that as you go forward, I'm getting that also the Hangman came up. I'm using an interesting deck called the New Era deck, which I've been really enjoying lately on the imagery. That you're going to be making decisions for the good of all, but she is not going to be doing that or cooperating with that. She is going to be making decisions from a place of selfishness. Now, I didn't know how long you two had been together, but what I'm getting in the clarifying cards is that you've been together for quite a while. And although that now you are older, wiser, and stronger, she is going to try and use that history and her knowledge of how to manipulate you and try and take you apart. The final clarifying was this one, which the imagery is pretty stark on that one. I don't know if she's a cruel person. Perhaps not. Perhaps it is a mental illness or chemical imbalance issue. But I think the danger for you is falling into old patterns of manipulation, because I'm guessing that she is very skilled at knowing how to take you apart and how to get to the inner scars and the inner nerves that just fire the brain and create reactions that would not be healthy for you to follow.
It definitely makes a lot of sense. It's a lot.
And I'm really moved by the dichotomy of 2 cards. How, to me, this represents you now, but she's going for this one. She's using the younger George and what she learned and how to manipulate young George back then to really try and take control and to turn things. I'm not even getting it for her advantage. I think perhaps she is being reactive too. If it is a chemical imbalance, that might make a lot of sense. But at the end of the day, pain is pain, whether it's intentional or a side effect of a difficulty. But I think you have to be very careful in how you respond and the decisions you make, and really look at them to see if you're being reactive or constructive.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
That's awesome. Thank you, Bill.
Let's bring Erin on and see what she has to say. Hi, Erin.
Hi, what's up? Can you hear me?
Hey, Erin.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I started and I'm using the Philly deck again. The Page of Pentacles. Can you see without the glare? And this was in the reverse position. So Philbert the Pig is a pig that everybody throws money into in the writing terminal market, and it helps to raise money for people. When I see that in the reverse position, I interpret that as you are not getting back what you are putting in. This is not being repaid back to you. You're not receiving anything from that. I also pulled the Strength card, like Elise. And
wow.
I interpret that as this is your time for your inner strength. This is not time for you to be strong for her. There's nothing that you can do that's going to make her come back and love you. She knows how to do that. She's choosing not to because she would rather control you. And I don't know her. I just know people like that. I've been in love with that person before. And once it becomes more about control for them, why would they love you? You know, if they can control you, why would they respect you? And it's hard to hear that, because you are a compassionate person and you want to love and be loved. But you'll kill yourself. You know, empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. You can waste your entire life in this relationship, or you can do what's uncomfortable and break patterns of behavior and continue showing up to change. The last card I drew for you was the Two of Swords. Sorry, again, it's kind of glared. And her body posture to me says don't. Yes, a 2 is a card of partnership, but that says don't, not this partnership. I think it's time for you to have the partnership with yourself, especially because if you have 2 kids with her, they will learn this pattern. This is a pattern I learned from my dad, and I watched him for now 16 years do this with my stepmom. It's something that I started doing with men in my life. I'm not trying to say that your kids will do the same things that I did, but I will say that you are their example of how a loving, functional relationship looks firsthand.
Good. I think I'm doing good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
That's one of the things that made the kids mad, was that she was already dating within a day or 2 after leaving.
Right.
And it's been a year and a half now, and I won't even talk to anybody yet.
And you should be able to, you know, you should be able to pursue your own life, because that's the thing. When it becomes about control for the other party, that means that y'all can fight and she can go out and she can start dating other people immediately and still get mad at you for not talking to somebody a year and a half later. Like, that's not a life for you to subscribe to. And that's not a life that your kids, like, I don't know, look and feel like that's how I want to grow up. That's how I want to be treated.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the kids asked me not to meet anybody yet.
And that's cool that you respect that too.
Yeah, big time. They're still fragile, so I want to be there for them the best I can.
Definitely.
But you know what, George? I gotta say something to you here, bud.
Go ahead.
Because I love you. But George, sometimes I think that you're still holding a candle. You're still holding a candle of hope, and you're saying, okay, well, the kids don't want me to date anybody, so I'm going to stay loyal to this dysfunction, which is you're overly loyal. You know what I'm saying?
You can not be loyal and still not date other people, or rather you cannot like pledge yourself to her and still not date other people. You can just be single and figuring yourself out without feeling like you have to wait for her to maybe want to be with you again. Like, I think that that's the candle of hope you're talking about, and I agree.
Yeah. And I think so, George, I've been in your position before where there was somebody in my life who was like with all these other people, and I still wouldn't go, like, I still wouldn't do that to them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I was I'm like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings because I'm waiting for them to like realize that we're supposed to be together or whatever.
Right.
And I would make all these excuses as to why I was doing that. But in reality, I was still like so obsessed with that person and wanting them to return that I was just like, and you know, it wasn't really ever about them. It was to make sure that I was okay. So if they came back, it means I'm okay. But the second card I pulled is almost completely opposite of all that fighting. Remember, I pulled the 4 clothespins. Look at them all now. All standing straight up, the whole family standing straight up, the wreath, like this beautiful wreath, and then you have you. This is you, I believe, in the middle there. That's you, finally erecting a firm structure and giving your family stability and the structure that you've always wanted. But this is a very good card. Like, so if you could go down this path, you're going to have to be the one to put your family together.
And that's what I've been doing. I've been finally putting them first and making sure that I'm...
You're not putting you first, though.
And that's going to really determine how the family sails.
And your kids know it deep down. I feel like they know that she's pushing you around. I think they know it.
Oh, the big time. Because she's pushing them around and they don't like it. And they stand their ground.
So you're going to have to be that example of what a true leader is in the family.
Right.
Yep.
For them. But I'm going to bring on Bill and Elise and just talk to you guys really quick about this. But like, George agrees with us. This is what happens in all my readings. People agree with me and say, I know what you're saying is true, Marisa. I know I have to do this. I know. And all that intellectual stuff goes into their mind. And then 3 months later, they're calling me with the same stuff. So how can we help George? He knows all this stuff. I mean, we're just validating what he knows. How can we help him to take an action today to change? Like, how can we help him with that?
I would recommend... Oh, go ahead, Erin. Or whoever's talking.
I would just say a couple, like, no matter what happens between you and her, you need to start a regimen of things you do for you that are uninterrupted by her, period. Whether it's work out for 10 minutes a day, whether it's go do something that you enjoy, a hobby, something with the kids. I think if you start incorporating time that is designated to you loving yourself, being able to explore yourself and give yourself positive feedback, hopefully that can help to foster an environment of, I don't know, higher self-esteem.
I agree with Erin. Here's the thing, George. I've been through that. 17 years divorced. I was like everything for my daughter, but I wasn't putting myself first, and I was not taking care of myself emotionally, physically, mentally. And you have to take that time. I'm full agreement with you, Erin, because you're not going to be good for your kids if you're not good for yourself.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind and get the dad guilt out. You know what? You're entitled to meet someone that is good for you and who treats you like you should be treated. So, just say, oh, I'm giving myself a year and a half. No, if somebody does come into your life, the boundaries you need to set, but be happy. Enjoy your life. Don't sit at home on a Friday night listening to us.
Enjoy it though. This is,
it's
I like this. It's relaxing. I like it.
No, but still, my point is you have to take the time for yourself to be good for your kids and anybody else that comes into your life. Just keep that in the back of your head.
I mean, some of the things that have been...
Go ahead, Bill.
Very helpful for me are things like self-compassion exercises. There's a book called the Mindful Self-Compassion Workbook that you can do weekly. Some of the works of Byron Katie, although she can be a little controversial at times, can really help with things because she provides tools to examine decisions. And whatever works for you, I try different things, read different books, different methods, and those have been really useful because if you set it aside, whether an hour a week or half an hour a day to read these things and just remind yourself to look inward and make that part of the practice, to me, that's been extremely useful.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. George, it's for me, when I look at you and I love you so much, you've been a huge part of my life. It's for me, I don't feel like you're even open emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. If the right woman came along today and showed up on your doorstep, I don't think you would be available to her because your heart is still so wounded and it's still there. And it's hard because you still have that power and control that's coming over you. and it's hard to really give yourself 100%.
It is. I mean, I've came into a lot this year after we talked about the last show. You know what I mean? With having like that awakening I did. Like my life did like a full 360 beyond belief with not just myself, but then everything that's been going on with them. Like it's been like a lot, like, breaking the cycles within myself first, then this with her controlling still is a lot to process still. So I'm still trying to gather things together, put them away properly, and keep on going forward, if that makes sense.
Right.
I had those flashbacks forever. I had, just constant things that were a cycle with my health. And then all of a sudden it stopped. And then I woke up one day, like I was going out to escape, going here, drinking, doing stuff. And then I stopped it. So like, just trying to get into normalcy. Now I got to figure out what is my normal again? Who is George?
But that's also the fun part. Because then you get to figure out how to fill your life with absolutely everything that you love and that's meaningful to you. And sometimes it seems like, being a compassionate, caring person, the best way to do it is to frame it as like you are giving them the gift of your absence. Yeah. Like you love her enough to stop having these toxic interactions and to stop damaging your self-worth, because maybe right now you have to do this for her and then you can turn on and realize that you were doing this for you. Like however you have to sell it to yourself. And I mean, I wanted to talk because I didn't leave. My ex left me. And I would have let them do anything forever. But I knew I was going to die. I knew that road was completely unsustainable for me. And I knew that I would never be able to access the life I have now with that person. And the universe told me that all along. So the best gift he actually gave me was his absence.
Yeah. That's what I'm learning slowly. How much stronger I am and I don't need who I am.
Right. And that it's supposed to be painful. Pain is growth.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't avoid it. And you might as well, if you have to go through pain in life, you might as well be doing it like chasing what you love.
That's what I got to get back to.
And George, every time you talk to me, you're in pain. So let's not try to say you're avoiding the pain, because every time you talk to me, you're in pain.
It is. Yeah, coming over.
You choose your pain.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And it's being a thinker is my downfall. I think and analyze so much. It's just mind blowing, and that's
so do I.
We all do.
I'm over analytical, and I left a marriage of a narcissist, and I had to make that decision for myself. Did I want my daughter to think that was the normal way of having a relationship? And it wasn't, but all my relationships were based on that whole concept of being controlled, gaslighted, and not feeling worthy of being loved. But I figured, and you want to be good, you want to be the good person, take the higher road. It doesn't work in the end. That's why I told you need to protect yourself with anything that's coming down the road legally.
Okay. All right. So
you can do it.
I know I can. Definitely.
It's fresh, and I get it.
Yeah. What kind of first step could we give George to kind of say, let's do this now? Like, what's the first step we can give him? An action step to take right now so that he could start to make a change. Bill, what do you think about this?
What came to mind, because George said something that reminded me of something that I've had to really pay attention to in my own life, is thought spirals, where you start thinking something and you're going to fall into a spiral of rethinking and rethinking and rethinking. Before you know it, you're at the bottom of a pit.
Yep.
So for me, it's been very useful to really work on identifying the thought spirals when they start and try to break that cycle, because I've had spirals that can last 24, 48 hours. And those are pretty awful. And so just by recognizing when they happen and maybe doing something, go out for a walk. If you have a pet, take your pet out for a walk, or go do something with the kids and recognize that you're spiraling, and just, forgive yourself because it's human, and trying to step out of that spiral.
Okay. Definitely try that.
And if I can add, it's okay not to have all the answers all the time. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay to cry. It's okay to take a ride in your truck and just scream. You need to get it out. And, you don't have to be strong. Let all that process happen, because it's going to help you grow from this. Definitely. You need to release.
Oh, I always do. When I go running every day, that's when I release. That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
I think also, are you going? I was going to say, I think we become addicted to our thought cycles as well. So understand that you are at this point addicted to worrying about everything and overanalyzing everything. It's just how your mind deals with free time. It feels uncomfortable to not have anything to worry about or stress about. I think one of the things you can do if you haven't already is if you have like old love letters or old pictures of the two of you being romantic, delete that shit. Get it out. That is not your relationship anymore. And I'm serious. Okay, good.
That was one of the first things I did was whole house is cleared.
That's one of the first things I do, and I'm just like,
all her things is gone. It's been gone, not in the house. Because it was funny because then she was sending texts that we're living in a shrine to her, and I'm like, no, there's nothing here. Everything's brand new. Everything.
Big old bonfire, right?
Yeah, exactly. Brand new paint, brand new coverings, brand new furniture, everything.
Brand new locks. You change the locks.
No, there's no changing the locks. I don't lock them anyways.
All right. George, I'm going to challenge you a little bit because I know you, and I'm just going to challenge you a little bit.
All right.
Whenever you contact me, I don't want to hear any more stories about her. I don't want you to tell me about what happened. I don't want to tell you to tell me about
I'm texting
what
right
the
now.
texts happened. I don't want you to use that time. I want you to tell me how you're doing. I want you to tell me what's going on with your life. I want you to tell me what you're passionate about now and the good things that happened about your day. I want to hear more about you.
Okay.
So I want you to, when you think about talking to people, I don't want you to use all that time when you're connecting with the people that you usually talk to about her. I want you to, like you said, you put down the drink, right? This is the same thing. This is that addiction. I just want you to put it down. Put it down. Give yourself 30 days.
All right.
Give yourself a timeline. I'm not going to let my mind take up any more time talking about her, going over this. You know, you might go over it in your mind, but try not to use that time that you're going to be spending with your kids, with friends, or with people talking about what she's doing. That would be my next suggestion.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I was just going to add that as you do that process, there are days you will be able to do that, and days it won't go so well. Forgive yourself for those days. There's nothing wrong with not achieving that on those days, but then celebrate the days that you do achieve it.
And I would say, George, get a little tape recorder or like a little digital recorder, and those thoughts that you want to that are in your mind, just start dictating them about what she's doing, what she's saying, and then play them back like a month later and see what you're saying to yourself. But I think it's Bill was talking about self-compassion, and I want you to be kinder to yourself because you're you're beating yourself up almost, like you're doing something wrong. But I don't even think it's about her anymore, George. I think you know exactly what this is about with her. I think these are just old wounds like we're all talking about. She's the one who hurt you, so she's the one who has to make you feel okay. That's how we all are with those old wounds. And just know that she's probably not capable of that.
All right.
And actually smashing that fantasy is so hard because it could lead you to have grief, but you haven't grieved her yet. You haven't gone through your grief process yet with her.
All right.
Does that make sense?
It does a little bit. I mean, I thought I was, but I mean, I don't know.
I feel like there's a difference between active grief and really feeling like you have lost somebody. Like you are certainly grieving a relationship that's died, but you still have this relationship with her that's unhealthy and toxic. So you don't feel like you need to grieve her passing, I guess, from your life. But I think that the woman that you fell in love with is long gone.
Yeah, definitely.
And she has been.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, grieving her is necessary.
Yeah. I think I'm grieving more of the bond that she has now as far as co-parenting and things of that nature, and how she's flipping things around on the kids just to get at me and things like that.
And they'll do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they won't stop. I had to fight my dad about it to get him
No.
to finally start treating my mom with respect. And that seems like something that your kids are already willing to do with her. So hopefully that continues to be the trend. But perhaps you should think about everything with parenting. Just act like you're a single parent. Obviously you're going to have to co-parent with her to a certain degree. But I don't think the parenting should be contingent upon her boundaries when she doesn't want to show up.
Oh no, we keep on rocking every day. She's already had her chance to be here, be there, and she didn't want to. But
Right.
It's just the way that she does things with the kids and stuff like that, and words towards me that get me. It definitely knocks me down.
Yeah. Have you considered therapy?
Oh, I'm in it.
Cool, good. I love therapy.
I know. Yeah. Therapy's like going to the salon for me.
You just open up the gates and let it all out.
Yeah.
Open the cage.
No, that's why I was relating to Bill a lot. Like when, Marisa was talking to him about his interview there, there was a lot. I mean, from my childhood, things that's there. I mean, there's a lot in general, and plus, she fell in love and we fell in love together during a total craziness part of my life with, so much traumatic stuff going on, the PTSD, the flashbacks,
traumas.
I didn't even know I had traumas from a kid. And then all of a sudden it just came to light within the last year and a half that I finally, sat down after I had my awakening and just came to light. And now we're addressing them. So it's just been a lot of craziness.
And George, for people with trauma, our kids see us dysregulated, which you don't think they're seeing you dysregulated, but when we're not present and we're distracted and we're in that spin cycle in our minds, you don't think our kids recognize it, but they do. So they feel that you're unhappy. They feel that you're not regulated. So when they feel that sense of contentment and calm within you, and they feel that you're regulating yourself, and even if you are happy with someone else, all your kids want is for you to be happy. That's what they want to see.
Well, I know that because I know when I met with one of their therapists, one of them asked do you want your parents to get back together? And they said no, because my dad much better without her. That's what my son said in his therapy session. So that was pretty cool.
How old are your kids again, George? Sorry.
15 and 12.
See, they're older, so they get it. And they've seen a lot. They've heard a lot, I'm sure.
Yes, on both sides. Yes.
Yes, and the kids they are, and they will always be affected by their parents' relationship. It's just the way it is. And, so they're old enough to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to see her, and you need to respect that. My daughter was a lot. It does break your heart. My daughter was young. She was 3 when I divorced my ex, but I never said to her, you don't have to see your father if you don't want to. I always made a point because she was younger, but because your kids are older, they have their own opinion and they have every right to have that. Yeah. Because they're hurting just as much as you're hurting.
They definitely are. It just breaks my heart to watch that.
Of course. Yeah. But I mean, they have every right to their feelings,
Yep.
All right, George.
Yeah.
So what are
little kids.
What are you going to commit to with us here tonight? And when we're going to bring you back on another time, you're going to have to let us know your progress. So what are you going to commit to?
Breaking the cycle, not talking, not giving her my time, even with the communication to friends or people.
Right. That's just the start. And then we'll give you another pointer when you come back.
All right. How to win the lottery?
No, we just want to see how much more time you have now to focus on yourself and getting back to you and doing the stuff you love to do and starting to live your life.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we have to wrap it up, but I'm so happy
I'm happy
that
too.
Everybody was here tonight.
Thank you.
And thank everybody for coming. Bill or Erin, do you have anything you want to promote before we go? Anything you guys want to say?
Well, Erin, just take it away. You know what we have to promote. Go for it.
Deja Vu is coming out on November 30th. It's in 10 days. We've worked for a year on this. We're very proud of it. It's a whole spiritual journey.
Yes,
and this is where you could get it, right? This is the link right here?
Right here. Whoop. Store.erinincoherent.com. And you can find me as Erin Incoherent on any social media platform or wherever you stream music. I do currently have music on Spotify and YouTube and Pandora and all that. It's 2 other records and a couple singles that we did earlier this year. So yeah. And I have some music videos coming out also to promote Deja Vu. So yeah, just plenty of new material coming up. Just follow along. And that is the end of my plug, Bill.
And if you want to keep up with what's going on here at the studio, it's thehouseofrobot.com. And the social links there. We have a really interesting live show tomorrow night. Dan Castle. In fact, Marisa, you know Dan. I think you said. Dan does the cello with looping pedals, and it's really a very interesting performance. So that's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And thehouseofrobot.com is all the listings of live performances and the goings-on here at the studio.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And, of course, we got to give away our bracelet for tonight.
Okay. Do I get to pick the name?
I actually picked the winner. We had a little contest.
Did?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
So here they are, all of them. All right. And they're energy-infused bracelets. And I just love to congratulate A.M. Number! And over.
Yeah.
And over. Yay.
Congrats.
You've been around. Yes, and over. She's right there. She's at every show. She's been here since the beginning. You want a bracelet, and over. I'm not sure what I'm going to give you yet because I got to do the measurements, but I'm going to intuit one of these for you. Your energy infused bracelets. We're going to see what you need in life. You know what I mean? I don't even know if you're still here, but you won. Oh yeah, she won. She's here. What? Wait, and over. What is your wrist size again? Is it 6 3/4? You said? Is that what it is? I got to do so 6 3/4 plus 1.5 is what? 6
We did this the last time, right?
Yeah. What's
Wait,
6
I have a
3/4
pen.
Math class.
plus 1.5?
1.5 is ready. Dun, 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 roll.
8.25.
8.25. 8.25.
8 1/4. I really want to give her this one. Let's see if it works out. And Nober, this bracelet is very special. It reminds me of you, and it's wow, it's 8 1/4. 8 1/4.
Hello.
Here you go, and Nober.
That's nice.
This is your intuition, your crown chakra, and your grounding force. And this is all about creating and starting a business. So if you want to create something for yourself and have a steel armor, nobody could get through to you, Ann Nober. These are boundaries. These are clear. And your crown chakra is opening. Your armor is steel. Nobody's going to get through to you. Nobody's going to hurt you emotionally. Here it is. It's the new weave. And all I need is for you to email me your information or where you're at, and I will deliver this for you. And Nober wins. Congratulations. All right, guys. We will. Oh, Ann Nober's over the moon. She's over the moon. Good job. All right. So have a great Friday, everybody. We went a little longer than usual, but
Great show, everybody.
Snowboard George needed it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I like the purple hue. It's very nice.
Yes.
It's calming.
My lights
All right.
are over. My lights are there
Okay.
someplace.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.